I do this project because I see a kind of obligation for me to come closer to these people who are completely ignored from the society. These are not the richest people, the important people, but people that the society tried to kill in a certain sense, or would wish them to disappear. So I try to cry in their name. In 2015 and beginning 2016, I did make the portrait of refugees in Berlin, and it was something not planned. One day I was walking in the street in Berlin. It was really 1 month before Christmas. I was with my 2 young children walking around and suddenly seeing those refugees, you know. The refugees we saw at the TV at this time, on listening on the radio a lot. And suddenly they were in front of me. And it was a surprise, but also a kind of call. And directly I wanted to help because in my nature, I am Virgo, I always want to help. So I was wondering what to do. And my daughter was 8 years old approximately, and was also thinking about that and told me, "Oh, Papa, you should do the portrait of those people." And at the second I had the idea too. So I said, "Hello, if I don't disturb, I really would like to, make the portrait." Since end of May, I make the portrait of people living in an emergency shelter. I have been invited by a friend and a great supporter of my work, Christoph Giulini. He called me one day and spoke about his emergency shelter. I had no idea about it, and he made me a brief introduction of the building, of approximately the people, and he asked me if I would be interested into that, if I would feel inspired by the people. So it took 3 seconds that I answered that I would be really interested into that, because I felt directly touched by those people. Why do the people live there? There are different reasons. My assistant Theresia make the interview of all the people I have painted, and okay, I would imagine, would say 90% of the time it deals with drugs. The people have taken drugs. When they explain it's as they were young. They had fun, wanted to have a funny life, a good life, making graffiti, or I don't know, music, alternative, taking drug because it makes sense for their life. So. And they did not find a job, and the drug became too strong, alcohol and all heroin and cocaine and so. And suddenly they are 40 years old and everything has been done, Live alone without job, without family, the contact with the family or friends, broke most of the time. The people are from 20 to 80 years old approximately, and some are really from Berlin, like next street approximately. Some from Germany, some from Europe, and some really refugees from Syria, for example. And I wanted maybe to come back in this mood, this atmosphere of high emergency. Those people are not considered by the society, you know. You don't know the name. They will not look at you if you are there. They look, you know, down. They are most of the time a bit ashamed, you know. And I have heard one anecdote which is a good example. As I arrived to draw, one old guy was always in the floor, you know, laying down because drunk. And the other colleagues, I would say, did not take care of him so much because it was always, you know, old guy drinking. And he almost died in the floor. He was taken from the emergency hospital car and died a few minutes after. And nobody rescued him. And we can't tell that the others are guilty by it. And to come back to the process of painting, maybe when I paint the people, yeah, I don't know who will come. One of them, living in the area, in the building, helped me really much, Lars. Without Lars, I would have stopped. But Lars, through the time, helped me really much by organizing the session. Because the first time, as I wanted to try it at my home, I had so much difficulties to make an appointment, you know, because most of them have another a relation with their schedule. They live constantly there, but it's difficult for them to give an appointment in 2 days, you know. It seems that like really far for them in 2 days. So I did not find a solution, but Lars showed openness and interest in the project. So with him, I really have a friend supporting me and asking them. And through the time, we put at the entrance of the building photos of all the portraits I did. So it became another entrance, because at the beginning the entrance was really cold, without any picture, you know. And through the time we hang the photos, so it creates a bit of discussion or maybe lightness, and it brings them a bit in dialogue. I propose also each model to be paid like 25 euros for 1 hour, because it's a kind of job also, to tell thank you for your patience and also for your job. And I hope with that I encourage them to find a job one day. I hope, you know, it's kind of praying for that. There is an insecurity. This emergency shelter takes place in an area for industry. And the politicians have rules and said, even if they allowed this emergency shelter, they said, okay, it can't remain after January next year, because it's not allowed in an industrial area to have people living. So I think now it has, there is a kind of exception, and they will stay some months longer. You know, how absurd is that? If politics stay with the rule, they throw the people again on the street, and from today to tomorrow they don't have anything anymore. And I have heard thousands of people in Berlin miss the possibility of having a home or a space to live. You know, thousands. And I think all of us need to reinvent their life, you know, to make the past nicer and to hope a better future. But I have the feeling with them it's particularly strong, this wish, you know, and to present themselves as victim. But I insist, I don't want to criticize them. And you know, on one hand, my assistant asks them, make an interview, and on the other side, I wouldn't like to take care of this interview. When I paint the people, sometimes I don't know the name until they come, you know. And during the portrait, I will not speak or ask about them, you know. I wouldn't like to know so much, maybe, because I wouldn't like to judge them. I wouldn't like to represent also this misfortune. I make the portrait of those people who are not the strong people, like Elon Musk, or politicians, or I don't know, maybe art collectors also. But I also wouldn't like that my paintings speak about this difficulty for them to live, you know. I try to put by side this really heavy social condition, because I really want to make the portrait of a people as a soul, as a spirit too. And not that the portrait paid attention of this heavy life. I really wouldn't like. I dislike it really much, this approach. What they share in common, maybe a kind of disillusion, you know? Like, I have been like thrown away from the society, put by side. And some wish to come back, but few of them. Most of the time they accept their condition and hope maybe for the future a better condition, dream of that, but some are not so conscious that it will be so difficult. Some are conscious. So it creates, I don't know, it's not easy to say it would be only one way. I pray for them to get a job, but also I pray for them to get a better life. And I hope what I do on a kind of energy level would make them lighter, you know. I hope I have, if I make them portray something of their spirit or soul would remain through the portrait.
Vielen Dank, Lars. Keiner nennt dein Porträt.